A note on Agnes Grey. This is a very interesting production for the BBC, uh, in which we can see the upper class basically despising uh, the lower class as represented by Agnes Grey here. Alas, from the very start, her story sounds sad. Her father makes an investment in sugar, and the ship on which the sugar uh, sank, and with it all the precious cargo. Sugar at one point was, if I'm not mistaken, more precious than gold or thereabouts. Anyway, the family has lost everything. It is emphasized a few times. And Agnes, who's still a child, basically a teenager, has to think of doing something for her family, which is in distress. In fact, we have here from positive psychology this important idea that we adapt uh, to reaches, so to say, hedonic adaptation. We get things, material things, cars, clothes, and so on, and we adapt to that. The 80-20 principle says that in fact we 80% of the time we use the clothes, 20% of the clothes. Um, so she has to become a governess, first of all, with a family, Bloomfield, which sounds crazy. And I was trying to think if they were typical or they were just cruel, more than cruel than average. Because the children, we know that they like to hurt animals uh, quite often, mm, and that's why, in fact, quite a number of them get hurt by dogs. That's because they just cause pain so much that the animal cannot stand anymore in those cases when incidents happen. Most of the time, there are exceptions to this rule, obviously. Um, but the frightening, terrifying, heinous aspect was that the parents encouraged those little brats, I can't call them anyway, to be more than cruel, torturers actually, because the boy, for instance, is saying, "Well, I like to get birds to give them to the cat." All right, so the cat has to eat something, and she cannot eat uh, grass. But then I like to take them and grill them while they're alive. Why would you do that? Because I want to hear them scream. And the parents, when Agnes Grey, who is working for them now, she has to call them master and mistress, the little children, and at the same time do the impossible and control them. So Agnes Grey is asking, "What about your parents?" Oh, father says, "That's being a man. So I will be a man." Really? Mm. She doesn't say that, but I was thinking. And what about mother? Oh, she's a woman. She doesn't count. So much for the education of that fortunately long gone age, and the values summarized in those few words. But then later on, as she is making them play with eggshells, the family, Bloomfield, the parents come and say, what are they doing? Well, they're playing with, why? Well, because they wanted to hurt the birds, and I didn't want them to. Why on earth not? Well, it's not good to hurt animals. I think she says, or words to that effect, or maybe not. But still, she's shocked by this aggressive attitude, and I am. The audience is, I guess. And they go on and say, well, if they don't do that, then they'll be scared. They'll feel fear in life. I was thinking, this is really crazy. And so she moves on to the Murrays, and it's not such a wonderful progress actually. She mentions, I was laughing because she mentions at one point the Bloomfields, the Murrays, the Hatfields. I mean, and the families of upper class people, which by the way I used to like, and this will change the perspective. I still like to think that the real aristocrat was one who was not only rich but sophisticated, treating well his help, his servants in need, more in the vein of Downton Abbey. But here there's a different angle completely. I will come back with another note on this.